The Denver Nuggets are so back. This is exactly what the NBA was worried about, and it is the Nuggets losing one of their stars in Jamal Murray, being able to weather the storm, and then coming back on fire. They're 26 and 12, third in the West. They're 12 and 3 over their last 15 games since Jamal Murray came back, and they still have a top 10 offensive rating and a almost top 10 defensive rating, even with Jamal Murray missing 14 games, who is arguably their best closer. Now, the Joker, he's pretty good as well. In my opinion, he's still a top 3 player in the NBA. Should be a top 3 player in NBA MVP voting. Although Embiid's having a heck of a year, Shea's having a heck of a year, as is Luka Doncic. So there will be some competition. But the Joker is still that dude. People forget, even though he's not the most athletic guy in the world. He's not the biggest, fastest, tallest, strongest. Although, well, he is 7 foot. He's averaging 25.5 points per game, about 9.5 assists, which accounts for, 46 points a game, something like that, depending on if the assists are threes or not. As you can see there, can become one of the very few list of NBA players to average a triple-double. The only other two are the Big O and Russell Westbrook. Could the third MVP be coming? I don't know. He's pretty efficient from the field, as you just saw, but there are some other, very good candidates. So it will be a tough MVP race this year. But what shouldn't be tough is sending Jamal Murray to the All-Star game. 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6.2 assists. The dude is having a phenomenal year so far, especially when you factor in efficiency, 48% from the field, 42% from 3 on 6 attempts. That is really good. That is very, very good. There's not many people in the league can do that, especially with the amount of off-the-dribble threes he takes. Shout out Jason Tatum with all his off-the-dribble threes he loves to take. But Jamal Murray is having a really good year. He should be an all-star in my opinion. And one thing you will notice about these Nuggets is their efficiency. All throughout the depth chart, they are efficient. They are number 2 in field goal percentage, number 7 in three-point percentage, while only being 15th in three-pointers attempted. And they are number 2 in assists on the season. And another big stat for them is, as I read off some of these stats throughout the video, you will notice a lot of these guys are over 50% from the field, over 40% from 3. They've got 10 of their top 11 guys in scoring over 45% from the field, which is crazy, especially when you look at this starting lineup, because there's so many different ways that they can beat you when you factor in that they have the 2-time MVP at center, Jamal Murray, who is a really, really good closer at point guard. You have Aaron Gordon and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope able to do all the little things, or willing to do all the little things that it takes to win a game. And then Michael Porter Jr., who can give you 30 on any given night. So this Nuggets team is really good. We're going to talk about why they're my favorites to win the NBA championship in the rest of this video, so make sure you stick around for the full thing. Make sure to hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying today's video at any point. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and continue on here. Also leave me a comment down below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on looking at the big shocker for this season, and that is that Reggie Jackson has been solid for this Nuggets team. He started really hot. He's been decent down the stretch, but with Jamal Murray being out, he has been really the second guy for Joker and the rest of this Nuggets team. On the year, he's putting up about 12 points per game, about 4.5 assists, which is really good for a backup point guard. But those numbers are a little bit fluctuated from the beginning of the season, where he was putting up, 20, 15, 17, 35, every other night. At one point this year, he was actually averaging close to 15 points a game, which is, we're talking about Reggie Jackson, who they got for next to nothing. He's shooting at 47% from the field, 38% from 3. Another one of those guys shooting at over 45% from the field, 38% from 3 on 4 attempts, not terrible. And like I said, they got him for nothing. They got him for a second-round pick last year, and now he is their sixth man, who has been a key piece to their team this year that has already won 26 games. Now, a guy that could be maturing a little bit is Michael Porter Jr. Okay, he's starting to pass the ball a little bit more, up to 1.7 assists per game, which astronomical numbers for Michael Porter Jr. there. 1.7 assists a night. Never would have thought. But he's played every single game, averaging about 16.3 points on 48% shooting from the field, 40% from 3. And we need to take a second to look at this, because 40% from 3 on the level of difficulty of three-pointers that he takes is crazy. And then the other key pieces that we need to talk about here, Christian Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Aaron Gordon. KCP averaging about 10.5 points, about a steal and a half on 46% shooting from the field, 40% from three. Yet again, another guy shooting at over 45% from the field. Aaron Gordon averaging about 14 points, about 6.5 rebounds, and you guessed it, over 45% from the field at a very healthy 54. And then Christian Brown, about 8.5 points per game, about 4 rebounds on 47% shooting from the field, 38% from three, and there it is again. Christian Brown, actually, I thought he was going to be more of the six-man role, but Reggie Jackson kind of came in and took that over a little bit. Maybe he's starting to transition back to it a little bit more now. And then another guy here, Payton Watson, coming off the bench. I honestly thought he was a little bit of a disappointment early in the year, but now he's up to 7 points per game, 3 rebounds, 51% from the field in 18 minutes, by the way. Per 36 numbers on that are looking really good. So maybe we can get him a little bit more minutes, Mike Malone, I don't know. But he has started to replace Bruce Brown pretty well. Now, a couple of other guys that are stepping up. DeAndre Jordan has proven that, not consistently every night, but some nights he can come in and be a good backup center for you. And then Julian Strawther is probably a streaky shooter at best, but he can come in, he can knock down the three ball, and he has won them a couple of games probably by just coming in and hitting 6 threes off the bench. Now, taking a look at their upcoming games, they do have to play a surprisingly hot Jazz team. This is a Jazz team that is 8-2 over their last 10 games. That's going to be a tough one. Then they got New Orleans, Indiana, Philadelphia, Boston, Washington. So Philadelphia, Boston back-to-back will be tough, but you get 3 days in between. So I think you can, manage that one. They should win their next 3 games probably. They would be 13-2 over their last 15, but they lost to a Magic team that wasn't playing like 3 of their best players. So that's a tough one there. Probably would have liked to win that one. But taking a look at the standings here, Minnesota, they did win last night, so they're up to 26-10. But Minnesota, Oklahoma City, and Denver, those are the top 3 teams in the West right now. The Clippers are actually making a hard charge. They are pretty good as well. So I'd say your top 4 are, the first tier. And then you got the second tier, which goes from the Kings to probably the Suns, maybe the Lakers, depending on how they're feeling, if they actually want to play basketball after the play-in tournament. But the Nuggets, right where you want to be, right in that upper tier, and they're, half a game or a game out of first place. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, but I'll keep saying it. I'll keep hammering it home. This Denver Nuggets team, they have been my favorite to win the NBA championship for about a year and a half now, and it's not going to change. I love the way this team plays together. I love the way they're constructed with Reggie Jackson giving them good minutes off the bench. It just cements my point even further. Maybe they make a move, but I think they're good with their top 8. They proved 8 was enough last year, and I think their top 8 with Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown, and Payton Watson coming off the bench are good enough. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.